Welcome back to the Agile Coffeehouse. I'm your barista, Vic Bonacci, and it's good to be back. We left off with our spinning wheel some time ago. It was almost a full 6 months ago. So it's been a while. I don't remember what these cards are, and even if I did remember, I don't remember where I would put them, or we're going to spin anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Here I am to answer a question taken off of one of these cards. This is my deck of cards called the Agile Coffee Conversation Starters. Put this deck together back based off of my meetups that I had been running. I started the meetups back in 2012, I believe. It's been over 10 years since I've been doing the meetups, but here we go. Let's spin the wheel and see what we've got. If it lands on a blank, as it does here, we just go to the next card and we pull it off. So we have today the topic. It says, how effective are agile mechanisms without the underlying values? How effective are the agile mechanisms without the underlying values? Great topic here. This makes me think of primarily starting with the values. Now, it says Agile, you'll recognize it does not say Scrum. However, if you were to look at some of the different Agile frameworks or practices that have come about over the many years, many of them are associated with values or have values associated with them. For example, as a certified Scrum trainer, I work with teams who do a lot of work with regard to the Scrum values. In Scrum Guide, there are 5 values. Also, did you know, extreme programming has 5 values. In the world of XP, those values include communication, simplicity, feedback, courage, and respect. Yes, that's the 5. Courage, respect, feedback, simplicity, and communication. Not bad as far as a set of values goes. Insofar as we have values in the world of Scrum, those 5 values, there's a little bit of an overlap going on, but they include courage, respect, openness, focus, and commitment. And again, other frameworks or practices may also have their associated values. The thing I like to say about values, though, is you always want to start by asking your team or your organization what they value. And maybe in doing that and having that conversation, values will surface that may be equally as important or perhaps even more important than any of the values ascribed by a framework. Nonetheless, the question here says, can we, or rather how effective are agile mechanisms without the underlying values? Well, I can't speak for all the agile mechanisms, but what I would say, as far as it goes in relating with Scrum teams, is I always talk about having values to support different aspects of the Scrum framework. For example, did you know the Scrum framework is based on the idea of empiricism? And within empiricism, we really focus on the idea of transparency, inspection, and adaptation. Those are what we call the 3 pillars of empiricism that Scrum is built upon. And so if you're asking the team or an individual or even an organization to abide by these 3 pillars of empiricism, then having the values helps them. It kind of helps support that adherence or effectiveness of the mechanism. For example, openness, one of the 5 Scrum values, is very similar to the idea of transparency, one of the empirical columns. Again, transparency says, are we hiding anything? Is there anything that's not being reported? Is someone working on a pet project that the rest of the team doesn't know about? Openness, the Scrum value, kind of reminds our team, hey, you have to be open about this. You're not trying to put something behind a curtain and not share that with other team members. Similarly, if you were going to go about, working on a limited number of items in a given day or a sprint, let's call it maybe you've got a sprint goal, you don't want to put so many items into that sprint goal that your team doesn't have the ability to focus. Focusing on one item at a time gives each person or the team collectively the ability to disregard other distractions. Just focus on one thing, get that thing done to a high degree of quality, as well as get it done quickly without being pulled around cognitively between one, two, three other tasks or activities going on at the same time. So you can see focus is something that's very key. When it comes to courage, which we said is evident in both extreme programming and in the Scrum Guide, courage is one of those things that's absolutely indispensable. Consider that when Ken Schwaber, one of the co-creators of Scrum, was asked in the early days of Scrum, if he would make any changes to the values, the Scrum's 5 values, Ken replied with one of my favorite quotes of his, and he's got several. He said, "Yes, I believe we should double the font size of courage." How amazing is that? Courage is what it takes to have difficult conversations, whether they're between team members or someone perhaps outside the team in the form of a senior leader in an organization or a stakeholder. If you can't have honest and sometimes difficult conversations, then chances are you're going to be unable to live up to the potential of what Scrum can offer to the team. So I think in summing up, I just want to end here by saying that while I don't want to push values onto people or teams, I mean, certainly that's like pushing a rope. It just can't really be done. Instead, I'm always, if I'm a Scrum Master or a member of a team, always trying to model or embody those values myself so that I could see the environment that my team is in, also kind of like the environment affords that team to take on those values as well. I'm very protective of my team. I'm shepherding or stewarding the environment to make it more likely that those values will emerge on the team. I'm going to wrap it up here. I think that was a really good topic, and it was one I read it and realized, did I even write this, or where did I come up with that? I don't remember seeing this card in a long time, so I'm really glad that it came up. But what do you think? How effective to you and your teams are the Agile mechanisms if you don't have values, any underlying values in place? Let me know in the comments below. And by the way, if you're interested in taking one of my classes, I primarily offer the Advanced Certified Scrum Master class these days, but I've been known also to offer the CSM or even some of the micro credentials coming up. AI for Scrum Masters, anyone? You can check out my website, onlinescrumclass.com. If you sign up for one of my classes, remember to use the promo code COFFEE for 10% off whatever ticket price is available. Until next time, this is your Agile Barista, Vic Bonacci, reminding you to enjoy your coffee with friends. Where is my coffee?